What is up, the Lions fans? It's your boy Motor City Don P, and we're back here once again. You already know what it is. It is victory Monday. Monday. It's just another victory Monday. Just another victory Monday. You already know what it is. When you see me in front of your TV, number one, the Motor City Cats R&D back at it. Number two, we came to give you stats and not none of that static. And number three, perhaps the most important number of them all. Number three, we want to make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic because your news is very pragmatic. It's very pragmatic. When it's pragmatic, it must be Motor City Don P and the Motor City Cast. Very fine podcast, very fine, very authentic, very true. I only listen to the Motor City Cast podcast when I want to listen about the Detroit Lions. I come to the games, I watch them play. Very nice, very fine human beings. Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff, very fine. Dan Campbell's a very fine coach. All of that. And when you do share this stream with your mothers, your brothers, your fathers, your sisters, your cousins, your uncles, your best friends, your baby's mamas, your baby's mamas, and your baby's mamas. You name it. You name it. You have indeed cared about these people. So make sure you smash the like button for your boy Motor City Don P. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you share. And that's all. I had to do it. I had to get him. I seen him come through with them rims. I had to get him. Very fine. Very fine. What is up, though, Lions fans? Hey, we got some things that we're going to get into today. What up, everybody in the chat? What up, though, Tactical Sport? What up, everybody who is watching and ain't talking? And what up, though, everybody who is going to be here? Ladies and gentlemen, I have an announcement to make. Now, Tactical Sport says I've watched a few national media outlets, and they are acting as if Dan hasn't done this before. And I have an announcement to make, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I quit. Hello, I'm going to come out on the stage and I'm going to say, hello, Detroit City, Filth Florin, good night. Hashtag, if you know, you know. Use the hashtag. I quit, y'all. I quit. I've had it with these pundits. I've had it with these fans. I quit. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's those people I told you about yesterday. I told you those people were going to come out in full force. I told you there were going to be people walking around the Twitterverse, walking around on certain shows, saying silly ass stuff like, "You feel better now? Do you feel better now?" I mean, we all needed it. We all needed to see it. We needed that win against the Washington Commanders. Do you feel better? Or you were overreacting, guys. That offense looked night and day from the Minnesota game. All right, do you guys feel better? Are you good now? No, we're not good now. What the hell are you talking about? The offense looked night and day because there was night Johnny Morton, day Dan Campbell. There were two different people play calling. There were two different people at the head of the offense at the helm. We want to just act like Dan Campbell wasn't there. Hello? Is this thing on? Hello? Struggling. Guys, what? I mean, look, guys, do you understand? that going into last week, the Detroit Lions were their number one scoring offense in the NFC going into last week. And because the Detroit Lions matched matched the Seattle Seahawks 44 points, they are still the number one scoring offense in the NFC. You guys were overreacting. Going into last week, we were 5-3. I don't give a damn if you are the number one scoring offense, the number one scoring defense. You are what your record says you are. Sometimes I feel like you guys don't understand that the ultimate outcome of the situations, wins and losses. And we're the number one scoring offense in the league. And we're 1-7. Now we're the number one scoring offense. Just hold on. There's a lot of stuff going on with this team. The defense is offering up historical numbers. Okay. They're giving up 40 points a game. The special teams is also giving up 14 points per game. That's 54 points out of the gate. They're hanging on top of us. But guess what? We're out here scoring 48 points a game. We're the number one scoring offense. Okay? If we can score 48 points per game, what are you saying, guys? We're the number one scoring offense. And I think a lot of you guys you're just misguided and you're overreacting and you're not seeing the things the way that they need to be seen. We're the number one scoring offense, guys. What am I supposed to do? What y'all want me to do? What do y'all want me to do? I just don't. I don't fit in. I don't fit into this world, man. There's too much logic that comes out of my mouth. There's too much logical thought processes that go on. I should have said too many. I caught that. There are too many logical thought processes that go on inside of my mind. If you control alt delete on my head, all the background processes say logical thinking. I don't understand how people continue to just run out here and throw out numbers when it looked bad, so bad that the head coach took away the play calling duties from the offensive coordinator. He's done that before. He's done it before. And what happened when he did that before? He fired the guy. The guy got fired. His name was Anthony Lynn. Very fine friend. He was a friend. He was a friend of Dan Campbell. Very fine. And he got fired. He got fired. Just like I said in my show, The Apprentice, you're fired. What can I do? What up, though, Will Murray? What can I do to help people understand that the thing that matters is not the numbers, it's the games that you win and the games that you lose. That's it. I don't. There was a person, and this person went on Twitter, and this person has a platform. This person writes for A to Z Sports. I had to put you out there, my guy Mike. I had to put you out there, Mike Payton. And Mike Payton goes on there. Do you guys feel better now? What are you talking about? Feel better about what? Yes, we feel better that Johnny Morton is sitting in the press box doing nothing. We feel much better that Johnny Morton is in the press box not calling plays. And if there was any speculation, Dan Campbell said He was prepared to call plays last week. He's prepared to call plays this week. Dan Campbell talked about the things that he could do better as a play caller, which means that young Jonathan Morton has lost his job. Dan Campbell talked about Osama bin Johnson. Okay. Dan Campbell talked about Osama bin Johnson having the luxury. What is this? Having the luxury of sitting back, watching him do his thing, watching him call plays for about 8 games. And when he took over the play calling, he was ready because he knew how Dan Campbell wanted it to be done. And he said, that's really where Johnny Mo is. Somebody asked him, so is it safe to say that Johnny Mo might get the play calling back next year? He said, maybe sooner. Who knows? Johnny Mo's not getting no goddamn play calling back. What up, though, Robert Stevens? Robert Stevens has a new tune today. He no longer has the OC Blues. He's got that new OC energy. That's the tune that he has today. Will Murray says 10 for a hat moment. Ha moment. Hashtag if you know, use the hashtag. I know Tactical Sport knows what I'm talking. Ha moment. 10 for a hat moment. Morton was sent by Osama bin Snake Johnson to sabotage the Lions. That ain't none of my business. I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree because, apparently Osama bin Johnson wanted Johnny Morton to be his offensive coordinator. I feel like that was a story that just got floated. I feel like they had a conversation and Osama bin Johnson was just like, hey, you told me you wanted to be an offensive coordinator once. Yeah, you getting any offers? I think it was just a casual conversation in passing. I don't think he actually called Johnny Morton and asked him to do a damn thing. Tactical Sports says, if I can do your job, why do I need you? You're fired. Let me see if I can find something here. Which I got to say, Detroit Lions. Did Trayvon Diggs got released? That's crazy. That's crazy that I got a lot of stuff going on in my Twitter that I had no idea about. Oh. Bruh. That's crazy. All right. Yeah, let me see if I can find what I'm looking for here on the Lions thing. I want to see Dan Campbell talking about. Okay, it's just okay. This is what we got.
And Yodi to start offensively. O-line responded in a big way. Deck and Yodi, Graham, Ratledge, and Sewell. They played big time ball for us, man. No sacks.
Okay. So what you noticed from Dan Campbell was he named every lineman and said how they had done a good job. Last week, Johnny Moe was telling you it's two guys that are getting their asses kicked on every play. Just go back and watch the film.
You know, and 6.8 average in the run game. Those guys played well together, did a good job, and that really got us going, started us off, and really the whole offense played well. I mean, all our guys, they really did. I mean, all those guys are going to get a game ball. They played too dang good. So, but out of that group, certainly the O-line, Golf is outstanding. All our guys, man, Saint, JMO, Gibbs, Demo, Laporta, they all just stepped up and played big for us, man. They were playing for the guy next to them, man. We had a lot of downfield blocks.
Notice how he named all of the weapons that are on the team and said how they played well because all of them got the ball. That was
just guys blocking for one another, man, trying to finish the play for their teammate. And then in return, when the ball got in somebody else's hands, then
Jared Goff, when asked. So here's what happened. And I don't know if you guys watched the post game, the media availability. What happened was this. The reporters went around and asked each and every person about the difference between Dan Campbell and Johnny Moe calling the plays. Some of them, J-Mo, Jameer, they tried to play it down a little bit. Wasn't too big of a difference. Jared Goff said the flow was better, the game flow. David Montgomery was the most direct. And I don't know, I'd have to find it. Okay. But David Montgomery was the most direct. They had him at his locker and he basically said that the fact that both he and Jahmyr Gibbs got going was a direct result of Dan Campbell calling the plays. So what is the over-under? I asked you guys this yesterday. We've had an opportunity to come back and think about it and sit on it, pause, marinate. Do you think Johnny Moe makes it to the end of the year? Do you think he gets fired sooner rather than later? New car smell. Johnny and other coaches watching the D and relays the info to MCDC. Right. That's it. He's going to be a high-paid spotter. That's what he's going to be. Not to mention Johnny Moe had a whole offseason to learn how to call plays for this offense. He isn't going to learn. He can go. Facts. Not all OCs call the plays in the game. Andy Reid. So Andy Reid's, are you saying that his OC? So here's the thing. Andy Reid's OC wasn't brought in to call plays. Dan Campbell's OC was brought in to call plays. He couldn't call plays because he failed. He had to have the play calling responsibilities taken away from him. That's when it's bad. If you're brought in to be your Andy Reid's offensive coordinator, if you're brought in to be Sean McVay's offensive coordinator, if you're brought in to be Kyle Shanahan's offensive coordinator, you're not brought in to call the plays. No one expects you to call the plays. No one actually knows your name. Did you know that Mike McDaniels was offensive coordinator for Kyle Shanahan? Did you know that? Not everybody knows that. Who's the offensive coordinator for Sean McVay? Go. Don't Google it. Tell me. Go. Who's the offensive coordinator for Sean McVay? Who's the offensive coordinator right now? Andy Reid. Go. And it's highly publicized for the Chiefs. But who's the offensive coordinator? Okay. Todd Sports says no clip. You're not expected to call plays there because you're not calling plays. D-Dunk says he makes it through the year. I can see that because he's apparently vital to the whole operation. As a former tight end, MCDC doesn't know the offense. It's his offense. Okay, that's what I was saying about Osama bin Johnson having 8 games. This is what he said himself today in a press conference. He said the thing with Ben, because he said Ben, I'm going to say Ben. Okay, he didn't say Osama. Right? He said the thing with Ben is he had 7-8 games to sit back and watch me call the plays and know how I wanted it called and how I wanted things done. He said, so by, a year and a half, he said he didn't have to say anything. He didn't have to say anything to him at all because he knew exactly what he wanted and he knew exactly how he liked the game to be called. And he said that's where Johnny Moe is now, meaning he's going to have to sit back and watch. And if he can get it and if he can understand it, then maybe he keeps his job. But if he shows you that he hasn't gotten it, then he doesn't keep his job. He's been demoted. A lot of this is going to be body language. A lot of this is going to be how he handles himself in the locker room, in the facility. Is he going to become a malcontent? Because we've heard that he's the consummate professional. Is he going to continue to be the consummate professional as he doesn't call plays? And then if the offense makes as drastic a turnaround, and I'm saying if, because it's not a guarantee, it's not a slam dunk. If the offense makes as drastic a turnaround as we saw against Washington, okay? Because what we learned against Washington is that Dan Campbell is better at calling plays than Johnny Morton. That's what we learned in Washington. I don't think we learned much about our team. Resilience is one thing. Look, Washington, I'm not going to hold you. Washington's a bad team. This was expected. All you people want, do you feel better now? Are you feeling? No, this was expected. This is what you were supposed to do. Right? Y'all talk all the time about how it is up at the top. When you're a top tier team and you beat a lowly team, no one is throwing you parades and giving you flowers because it is expected. It is called expectations. Do you know why Washington and Detroit was America's game of the week? Because the NFL expected a show. They expected a spectacle. Because they believe you're one of the best teams in the league now. And obviously, they had people that were hurt and missing. That's fine. Cry me a river, cry me a river, cry me. Okay, you already know what it is. I don't want to hear nothing about your injuries, Washington Commanders. But the NFL expected that to be a spectacle. That's why the NFL puts your team on prime time all the time. That's why we have fewer and fewer 1:00 games, because the NFL wants the people to see the Detroit Lions. Because the Detroit Lions are a good team and they make money. So this was an expectation. No one is, I'm not finding Washington Commanders fans on Twitter. I'm not doing none of that. One of my, and this is crazy. Like, I guess I can call him a former friend of mine. Okay, is from Philly. He lives in Philly. His son lives in Philly in the same house, I believe. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I ain't said ish. That boy's a Commanders fan. Okay. And he had all types of stuff to say to me through my son. He didn't say it to me. He had to say through my son. Do you think I contacted him after the game? Do you think I sent messages back to him after the game? No. It was expected. They're 3-7. They were 3-6 coming into the game. So what we learned is that Dan Campbell was a better play caller. Now, what we don't know is how good this offense will look against Philadelphia. Because our offense didn't get tested. So when we see this offense look exactly the same as it did against the Commanders, obviously it would be to lesser points because the Philadelphia Eagles are a better team. They have a better defense and so on and so forth. But if it looks easy, if it looks to flow, if we're not constantly in 3rd and long, right? If we look at a lot of the stuff that we feel was fixed in the Commanders game, and we see a lot of that in Philadelphia, then we will know. Then we will have our answer. That's my point. All right, let me get to y'all comments. Bieniemy is not. Bieniemy is at UCLA. Bieniemy is at UCLA. See, you don't even know. That's the point. You see right there. My chat member. See, we never know. My chat member. OC for Andy Reid is the easiest job in the world. Facts. You don't do anything. Johnny Morton must be canned. That's the question we asking. When do you see him getting canned? Why though? He can still be used for preparation. As I said, I believe it'll just be how is he in the building? If he is sowing seeds of discontent, y'all like that. Y'all never thought that you would hear in a Detroit Lions podcast the line sowing seeds of discontent. I use that. I like that. If he's in the locker room sowing seeds of discontent, because he has become a malcontent, then he has to go. If he can be the consummate professional, he can help prepare. He can help this team get better. He can help them do cool. Let him stay. It's simple. The ball is in Johnny Moore's court. It truly is. Will he ever get his play calling duties back? I don't think you take him away and give him back. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know if that's ever happened, but we'll see. Brian Daboll is available. If you guys didn't hear, Brian Daboll, very fine coach, very good guy. Jackson Dart loves him. Russell Wilson hates him. Brian Daboll, maybe give him a call. Get him to be the new OC of the Detroit Lions. Maybe just give it a shot. You never know. It could work. I have orange skin. I used to play football. Okay? All right. We also learned that what I suspected, that this offense is Dan's offense, not Osama's. Facts. We learned today. We learned what a Dan Campbell offense looked like. All right. You gonna learn today. You gonna learn today what a Dan Campbell offense looks like. My favorite Bears fan idiotic take: bend over, Johnsonless made MCDC back of a lack of brain cells must be problematic in Chicago. It looks to be. Sunday Night Football kicks off at 8:20 p.m. That is facts, Duncan Stewart. Thank you for reminding me because I almost forgot. And I think you mean Monday Night Football, right? Monday Night Football, because we're talking about Packers and Eagles. Robert Stevens says no punts. Facts. And Dan Campbell's offense. Last season, Dan Campbell's offense was being run properly. Osama bin Johnson was the play caller. Jack Fox didn't do a whole lot of work. This season, Dan Campbell's offense wasn't run properly. Johnny Moe, I'm sorry. I'm going to stop calling him that. Jonathan Morton. No nicknames for you. Jonathan Morton was the offensive coordinator. Jack Fox doing a lot of work. Dan Campbell took over the play calling of Dan Campbell's offense. Jack Fox didn't do a whole lot of work. You see how it works? You see how it works? I'm just saying. Oh, next Sunday with us. Oh, you're talking about the Eagles and us. Okay, yeah. However, the Eagles are playing tonight. We should be at 8-1. I can see how that would be possible. We shouldn't have lost to the Vikings. I don't know about the Packers win or Packers loss. Should that be a win? It is week 1. It is week 1. And even if Dan Campbell's calling the plays, I don't know. I can't be 100%. If was a fifth. You know what I'm saying? If was a fifth. If was a fifth, we'd all be on Drink Champs. Easiest job in football, Jack Fox. Not when Jonathan Morton is your offense coordinator. We scored 15 points. Did we score 13 points against the Packers? When the stupid Packers played the Cowgirls, I wanted both teams to lose and they tied. I want both the Packers and Eagles to lose, odds that they tie. I hate the Packers more than I need the Eagles not to win. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, I hope they beat the Packers and they flying high and fly Eagles fly and all that bullshit. And then they be like, yeah, we welcome in the NFC North team up in here. We're going to smack the second straight NFC North team like we smack that first one. And then they're going to get smack. You know what I'm saying? How many times must I smack you before you act right? 1, 2, 3 smacks. Hashtag if you know, use the hashtag. Hearing from MCDC, Morton stays till the off season. Okay. Till the off season. But MCDC not giving back play calling. No, he's not. No, my brother. You got to get your own. Hey, Dan, is there any chance I can get my play call sheet back? No, my brother. You got to get your own. All right. In other news, Ahmed Hassanin was signed to the Detroit Lions practice squad today. I don't know if you heard the news, but here's what happened. And this got, I don't know why it got so many comments on my Twitter. Okay. Hold on. Let me see what you got to say. Is it raining? Oh, yeah, that's rain. I thought it was cereal. Is it a bold prediction to say Dayball is our OC next season? It's not a bold prediction. I mean, That's what I was looking for. You know what I'm saying? Like Daboll, hey, but he kind of looks like Jonathan Morton. So I don't know if I want. They look alike. You know what I'm saying? Beat the Packers. The pack runs with Kyle Gores and Lions lore. 13-27 in Green Bay. You got it. Yeah. And we scored 17 against the Chiefs. Oh wow, our pass rush problem is solved. Sarcasm. Yes. So here's and this is the thing. It really pissed me off when I saw this. From the Detroit Lions Twitter account, it says Lions have signed DE Ahmed Hassanin to the practice squad, and there is a Twitter user who says, "So does this mean he's healthy and can be elevated for next game?" I had to reply. I said, the dude hasn't played football in 3 months and has been rehabbing a torn pectoral muscle. What would make you think he's making an immediate impact? This has been like, this is what I've been pushing back against. Why do we do this? Who made you the way that you are? And then he replies to me, lying through his teeth, lying through his mother teeth. This man said, "No, that's not what I'm insinuating. I'm wondering if it works similar to, I don't know, like IR." Bro, what? What? The practice squad works similar to IR? What are we talking about? Hey, bro, we're gonna put you on the practice squad. You're gonna have to be down there for 4 weeks. All you can do is practice. All you can do is practice, baby. You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro, you demoted. You dropped the pass. You demoted, bro. You go in the practice squad. Come back in 4 weeks. In 4 weeks, when you learn how to catch a football player. Yeah, he gonna miss 4 weeks of games, but he gonna have 4 weeks of practice. Yeah, practice squad. I told you in the beginning. I told you I quit. I told you. I told you I don't belong in this world. I quit. Does the practice squad work the same way as IR? You couldn't have come up with a better lie than that after you got called out for asking if Ahmed Hassanin, straight off of a rehab of a torn pectoral, was just going to slide into the game against Philly and sack Jalen. I forget this dude's name. I really forgot their quarterback's name. Jalen Hurts. Okay. This is you going to sack Jalen Hurts 5 times. What up, though, Zach J? Unless they cut DDI, Davenport definitely injured to make the spot, then I'm happy genuinely. Bro, I honestly forgot when you made those 2 comments, when you said our pass rush problem is fixed. Yay, sarcasm. And when I was talking about Ahmed Hassanin, I promise you, Marcus Davenport did not even enter my mind with a toenail. He didn't step foot, didn't go in there at all. Isn't that crazy? I forgot that man was on the team. But is he a protected practice squad player? Can he get scooped up? That I don't know. I would assume that he is. I mean, you know that they're going to elevate him very soon, you know? Using the injury to practice, that is just mean. No, player, you broke your leg. Go to the practice squad. Go to the practice squad and practice on your broken leg. I don't want to hear nothing about no cast. You just broke your leg, B. Put some salt on it. You tough, right? Folks break their legs every day, B. You tough, right? Hashtag if you know, you know, use the hashtag. Please use the hashtag. Please know that. Please. I'm begging you to know. We're talking about practice. What's next? We're gonna talk about playoffs. I know I'm the franchise player. I know I'm supposed to be there, but we talking about practice. What we talking about, y'all? We talking about practice. We talking about practice. Not the game. Not the game. Not a game. We talking about practice. What we talking about? We talking about practice. We talking about practice. We talking about practice. Get him in football shape. Exactly, bro. Like I just, and this is why people get away with stepping to the microphone and going, "Are you guys feeling better now? Have you thrown your little temper tantrums about the offense? Didn't this offense look a whole lot better than it looked in Minnesota? Or not in Minnesota, against Minnesota? Bruh." Not even acknowledging the fact that we had a new offensive coordinator calling the plays. Not even acknowledging the fact. Just like, everybody was freaking out about the offense, man. Everybody was just flipping out about the offense, man. And there was no reason for it, man. Everything's fixed because the Washington Commanders are world beaters, man. And we just PTA on those world beaters with the same offensive coordinator, no tweaks. We didn't do anything. We just came out the same way that we did with Minnesota, man. Just stop acting like that, bro. Stop. But we're the number one scoring offense in the NFC. But we're 1-15. But we're the number one scoring offense in the NFC. That has to count for something. We score 45 points a game, and your defense gives up 90. It's just, it doesn't make sense. That's what I'm good for. Reminding the Lions fandom we still have Marcus Devin class. LOL, I must have missed the press conference. No, this wasn't a press conference. This was one reporter named Mike Payton and one on-air personality. I'm not gonna say his name because I don't know. I'm close with some of the people he's close with, so I'm just not gonna say his name. But he was doing it, and it was pissing me off. Oh, it was pissing me off. Is everybody okay now? Huh? Is everybody? Did you get it out of your system? Did you? What was there to get out of my system? Jonathan Morton. We exorcised that demon. What are you talking about? That's what we needed to get out of our system. The collective Lions fandom, the collective Lions team, locker room, and offense needed to get Jonathan Morton out of their system. And once they got him out of their system, that was it. I just don't understand. Some practice squads players are protected based on years in the league. If someone comes sniffing around for Haas, they just sign him. I don't know. I would guess that he's protected. I mean, this has been in the works since he got hurt. I don't think that they would just come and sign him back and then risk him getting poached. Yeah. But they are very good at knowing who's going to get poached and who's not. And I think if all of the GMs in the league were Lions fans, then he'd get poached. But because that's not the case, I don't think he's getting poached. I think he'll be there and no one will try to sign him, especially because he just came off. Now, the only way that I would see him getting poached is if it was by the Bears, the Packers, or the Vikings. And that's gamesmanship. Even though he's not going to be able to play for you for a few weeks, you might want to poach him. Yep, we lost to Green Bay, the Vikings, and the Chiefs. but you're the number one scoring team in the league, so you don't actually lose. When you take L's, they magically turn into W's. We won the Super Bowl last year. Y'all just didn't see it. I got the Lombardi in my trophy case. They came by the whole Lions team. They came by and they dropped it off to me. They was like, "Go ahead, you hold this, Don P. We gonna go get you another one. So you hold this one for us. Don't show it to nobody. I know they won't. I know they're gonna feel like it's not real. I know that. I know people will think you're lying. I know people will think that you're just making fun. And we know it's real. Between you and us, all of the Detroit Lions team that's in your living room right now, we know it's real. And if anybody tells you that it's not real, they're just haters. That's all. They're just haters. I got the Johnny Mo stuff out my system. Yes, because MCDC exercised that demon. Facts. It's time to exercise the demons. All right. Let's see what we got. What else we got going on in Lions news today. Let's see here. Because really, it ain't too much news. It's just the whole Johnny Mo stuff. We heard Dan Campbell's press conference. He's not getting play calling duties back. You know what I'm saying? He's not getting those duties back. It's just not. Lions had to censor Jameson Williams' questionable post-game hat. I did notice there was a blur, but then I didn't notice that there was a blur. Yeah, I did notice that. Wow. I didn't even think anything of it. Oh, his hat says sex. That's crazy. Okay. This is on Twitter. Okay. J-Mo's hat definitely does say sex. That's awesome. Okay. The fact that he wore a hat to the post game that says sex. Oh, the J-Mo haters are gonna hate that. See, he's an immature thug. I told you, it's my turn, Shannon Sharpe. Okay. Let me see. Question: Will Lions head coach Dan Campbell continue to call plays after 44-point eruption versus Commanders? Yes, he will. He's already said that. He said he's getting ready for Philly. Brian Daboll. It took one game for Jameson Williams to come up big with Dan Campbell calling plays. Yes, it did. The Lions are very likely to be awarded a 4th-round compensatory pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. Here's how. Did y'all see that someone was saying that Amon-Ra St. Brown punched Daron Payne first, and then whatchamacallit said Javon Kinlaw said that? Oh, he punched him first. Oh, really? That happened? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, for sure. I was like, bro, if you're gonna lie, be better at it, because that is terrible. Let me see. Mailbag, does Brian Branch get traded for draft capital in the offseason or someone on that level? No. Trading Brian Branch for draft capital is not something. Look, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, and I am one of those people that says the salary cap's not real. I say the salary cap's not real because I know how the salary cap works. There are people out there that will tell you that the salary cap is real because the bill always comes due. But I think with Brad Holmes and Mike Disner and the whole Brandon Sosner and whoever else is left, there is a way in which they structure contracts that allows for this to work. They stagger the contracts so things don't hit at the same time, which means that you can then stagger your restructuring of contracts, which means things will then be alleviated at different times so you can fit someone else's contract in there. I don't think that Brian Branch will be traded. I don't think Sam Laporta will be traded. I don't think Jack Campbell will be traded. I think they will all be extended. We know Jahmyr Gibbs is getting extended. So they will just continue doing that, looking at their salary schedules, who's just like Jared Goff. Jared Goff has a $69 million cap hit next season. That's getting restructured. There's no way in hell that that's happening. So they'll probably convert all of that to a signing bonus, and then he'll have a $1 million cap hit next season. And it's just going to continue rolling on that way. You can do that for a very long time. I think DJ Chark was still on our books technically last year because he had like 3 void years at the end of his contract. So it works very well. It works very well the way that they're doing it. So shout out to them, but I think everybody's going to get extended. Everybody's going to be under contract. Brian Branch is not someone that they want to lose. So, what up though, Hassanin Mahdi? He says, "Hey, my brother Ahmed Hassanin just called to be re-signed. He needs some time to get in football shape, some technique, but Ahmed, athletic, smart, fresh, young sponge, never give up." Guys, this is Ahmed's father. Ahmed's father is telling you he needs some time to get in football shape. He needs some development. That's what he means by the technique. Listen to his dad, please. So, me and his dad are in the same boat. That's all. I just listen to his dad. Johnny Morton knows something. That's why he's wanting. This is the second time play calling was taken from him. I don't think this is the second time play calling was taken from him. I think the first time he got fired. It was different. They took the job from him. They said, "You know what? You're fired. See you later." So that's what that was. All right, y'all. You know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. But before we flow, boy, we check in on the mailbag. What you want to do? What you want to do when they reading you? Mailbag. Mailbag. Get your mailbag questions in. Bask in it. All right, let's get those mailbag questions in. What up, though, Detroit D-Town? That fist bump. All right, get your mailbag questions in, please. If you have mailbag questions, please. Yeah, because this game, this game gonna start in a minute. So we want to go ahead. We don't want to bleed over. We want to watch these Packers get the schwackers. You know what I'm talking about? We want to watch the Packers get the schwackers, black. What the hell is that? When your phone just start playing some stuff, I'm like, what are you doing? Mailbag. Who's the next one to be extended? I think that's gonna be one Jahmyr Gibbs. But you know what? It might be Branch or Laporta. Because they were second-round draft picks. So it might be one of them. Jahmyr Gibbs has Is this Jahmyr Gibbs' third or fourth year? It's his third year, right? So it's his third year. That means it's also Sam Laporta and Brian Branch's third year. So they've got one more year left on their deals. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get his fifth year option picked up for sure. So he's got 2 more years. Honestly, I think it depends on the smart money. I think Jahmyr Gibbs. So okay, don't quote me on this. I feel like Jahmyr Gibbs gets his deal done this offseason because he will have 2 years remaining for the new money to kick in because they'll pick up his fifth year option. And then by the time his new money kicks in, he'll be among the highest paid running backs in NFL, if not the highest paid. But by the time his new deal kicks in, I think some other people will have surpassed him. And then also the salary cap will have grown twice before before his money kicks in. So I think just for the smart money, he'll get extended this offseason. And I think the necessity is that both Brian Branch and Sam Laporta get extended because they're second round picks. So if they don't get extended, then they're going into their last year as lame ducks. They don't have a contract after next season. 2027, they're no longer under contract. So I think that honestly, I believe all 3 of them will get extended in the offseason. All right, Robert Stevens, we will catch you later. It's all their third year, Gibbs, Branch, Campbell, Laporta. Ooh, I forgot about Campbell. I don't think you do 4 deals in the offseason. So, yeah, that's they got to redo Branch and Laporta. Maybe they do it during the season like they did with Aiden Hutchinson and Aleem McNeil. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the first one to get done. Unless you just say, because, okay. I'm just thinking like based on the market, you want to get. See, who's next up for running backs? That's a bigger question. And what is he getting paid? That's a good question. I think it's Jahmyr, though. I think he's the next one to get done. What up, though, Brian Brady? Taking Philly 31-24. I just want a Philly dub. But what I don't want is a Philly cheesesteak. Them joints is trash. That's why I asked, this offseason is tough. Yeah, you gotta do Branch and Laporta. My worry about Gibbs is just the market. Because if you do it this offseason and you get ahead of the market, you could do it this offseason because it really doesn't matter. If you did Laporta, if you did Campbell and Gibbs this offseason, it doesn't matter because you're picking up both of their fifth year options. Because you got to pick up their fifth year option at the beginning of their fourth year, not their fifth year. So they're going to pick up their fifth year options, and I think then they're going to extend them because they'll have year 4 and then year 5, and then the new money will kick in. So I think you do both of them. You can do all 4 of them this offseason, but that's what I meant by you're staggering the money because Branch and Laporta's new money is going to kick in 2027, but Gibbs and Campbell's new money wouldn't kick in until 2028. See what I mean? So, yeah, I think you can afford to do all four of them because nobody is getting any new money. That's the issue. Like, there's no money. If you do it this offseason, there's no money coming off the books this offseason for them. All right. Gibbs, I think also. Bijan is next. Yeah, Bijan and Gibbs went in the same draft though. So maybe I guess if you look at Bijan's contract, I think you might want to do yours before him. Hell yes, just found out yesterday my town now has a Potbelly sandwich shop. Well, shout out to Potbelly in the sandwich shop. And Derrick Henry is due again. I don't think Derrick Henry is going top of the market though. I don't think that's happening. All right, y'all. Appreciate you for coming through, hanging out, stopping by for a drink and conversation. It's 50 of y'all in here, man. 50 of y'all watching. Make sure that y'all go over right now, man, because we about to end the show. Go right now over to Motor City Cats on YouTube and subscribe, man. If you ain't subscribed to Motor City Cats, what y'all doing? What y'all doing? I ain't gonna say you should be ashamed of yourself. But if the shoe fits, you know what I'm saying? If the shoe fits, they have to restructure Goff's contract. They will. As we said before, a $69 million cap hit for Goff next year is not going to ever occur. It's not going to take place. But don't we get fifth-year option with Gibbs? We get a fifth-year option with Gibbs and Campbell. That's why I said they're going to pick up both of their fifth-year options. And their new money will not kick in until 2028. Nobody's new money is kicking in until 2027 if you do all four of those players this offseason. New money is not coming to the table. That's why I'm saying. Because when you extend them, I'm sure you know this, the new money starts after the current contract is finished. So that's why, like, J-Mo got extended, but he's not getting any new money until 2027. Right? Hutch got extended. He's not getting any new money until 2027. So there, regardless, if you do Brian Branch and Sam Laporta this offseason, there are going to be 4 new money contracts in 2027. Because it's going to be Hutch, J-Mo, Laporta, Branch. So, yeah. What do you mean except Branch? Because Laporta, they were drafted in the same draft class, right? Laporta, Branch, and Gibbs, and Campbell. All right, guys. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead. We get and hey, we gotta hate watch the Packers now. Make sure that y'all scream at your TVs loud and proud. As I said, it's 50 y'all in here, man. If y'all aren't on YouTube, subscribe to the Motor City Cats. Go do that. Not gonna invoke the word shame, but if the shoe fits, you might want to put it on. We don't get a fifth with Branch. Branch, yes, I know. We get a fifth with Campbell and Gibbs. We don't get a fifth with Laporta and Branch. Yes, because they were second rounders. All right, Brian Brady, we will catch you. All right, y'all. I'm getting up out of here. I know y'all don't want me to go, but I got to go. I appreciate everybody. Once again, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. We came to give you stats, not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And just make sure you remember that the Lions are the number one scoring offense in the NFC. Peace.